Today on BigCTV, we review Thor: The Dark World. We're actually going to unbox our very first Xbox One game, Call of Duty Ghosts. We're going to start a new segment called Let's Play, where I play an older game that I've never played before. This week, of course, is Vanquish for the Xbox 360. We're also going to talk about next-gen consoles, and I have a hot deal that you're not going to want to miss. All of that's next on BigCTV. Hello everyone, welcome to BigCTV. I am Chris, aka Big C. Welcome to episode 18 of BigCTV. We are about a little more than a week away from the Xbox One launch and our huge Xbox One launch special. We can't wait for that. We got a couple more weeks to wait, but we'll make it through, all of us together. Anyway, in order to make it through, we got a fun, interesting week this week. We're going to start things off with a big review of Thor: The Dark World.
Some believe that before the universe, there was nothing. They're wrong. There was darkness.
Everyone's favorite god of thunder has returned in Thor: The Dark World, the sequel to the popular Marvel comic book film, Thor. This time, an ancient evil known as the Dark Elves have returned. Thor has been spending most of his time after the Avengers taking care of the galaxy and making sure the 9 realms are in peaceful order, and he's done a great job of it. That is until his love interest, played by Natalie Portman once again, absorbs this weapon known as the Ether, and then the Dark Elves return to try to claim it for themselves. In order to defeat this evil, Thor must once again team up with his estranged brother Loki, once again played by Tom Hiddleston. Loki, of course, was in jail after almost destroying the Earth from the Avengers. And honestly, he's probably the single most interesting character in Thor: The Dark World. The film itself is a lot more complex and deep than the past film, and that's definitely a good thing. It's also a lot more humorous, which is something the original Thor was lacking, with a few minor exceptions. What makes Thor: The Dark World so good is, besides the action and the humor, there's a lot more depth to the different characters. Loki especially has a lot more depth to him. And even Thor, even though he's pretty much, big, strong, tough guy, you learn a little bit about his character in addition with this second film. It's another great installment in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and a great way to, continue the Phase 2 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Overall, Thor: The Dark World is definitely a film you're going to want to see if you are a comic book fan or a Marvel fan or just enjoyed the Avengers. We award Thor: The Dark World an A-.
You must be truly desperate to come to me for help.
You should know that when you betray me, I will kill you.
When do we start?
Alright, next we are going to do something kind of exciting. We have our first Xbox One game, which is Call of Duty Ghosts, and we are going to unbox it for you, right before your very eyes. Here's our latest episode of Unboxing. Alright everybody, so this is a very exciting issue of Unboxing. I know this is actually our second unboxing we've ever done, behind the Payday 2 limited edition, but this one is kind of exciting because it's a precursor to the Xbox One launch special, and I'll show you why in a second. Because I have in my hands the first ever Xbox One game that has been released. That, of course, is Call of Duty Ghosts, which came out today on Xbox One for some reason, even though their other versions came out on Tuesday, even PS4. So, here is the Xbox One version of Call of Duty Ghosts. Now, a couple things of note you want to see when you look at this. First of all, you see this little logo, Xbox One. This is a Blu-ray style case, and I actually have with me some extra cases so you can give kind of a size comparison. The logo is the same as the other versions, as you can see right here. Here's the back. We've got the new, turn over here, the new Xbox One style. It's not quite as like bubbly as the 360 version is, but it's like this nice little grid that shows all the different features. Interestingly enough, it does not mention resolution, nor does it mention that it's a Blu-ray disc, which it is, but that's interesting. Size comparison. Here is a PlayStation 3 disc. This is The Last of Us. Compare it to the Xbox One box. They're pretty much the same. The PlayStation 3 version's a little bit thicker, but it's the same, you know, height, size, that kind of thing. So the Xbox One version is actually a little bit thinner and more boxy than the rounded PS3 disc. And then I have, let me get it out of the case, my Blu-ray copy of Thor, because I just watched it to get ready for Thor 2. So let's compare that. Interestingly enough, the Xbox One disc box is a little bit thicker than the Blu-ray, so it's kind of in between the PlayStation 3 box and the Blu-ray box. And again, this one has sharp edges, whereas the Blu-ray box has rounded edges. So interesting comparison. So now let's rip the sucker open and see what's inside. Probably nothing too spectacular because it's just a regular edition. But it's still kind of cool because it's the first Xbox One disc. So let's see what we got. New game smell. Gotta love it. And new console game smell. Okay, still got these annoying things from the 360 version of games. I always hated those, but I'd rather have those than the olds, like from the top ones that DVDs often have and Blu-rays often have. Alright, so here's the box, once again without wrapping. So let's open this up. Comes with a couple things. Here's a little advert for the season pass for Call of Duty Ghosts. Also a little advert for Destiny. This also talks about the Ghosts mobile app. You can download for the second screen experience, so that's kind of interesting. Right here. There's that. It also comes with a... This is the code for the freefall bonus map. I'm not going to show you my actual code. It also comes with a 7-day Xbox Live Gold trial, which I'm good on Xbox Live for a long time. As you recall from the Xbox One preview event, I got a free year of gold, so that's kind of awesome. So here's the bonus map, which the box, if you look at it, it's kind of different. The game disc is on the left, which we're often used to it being on the right hand side, but this time it's on the left. The inside of the case is clear, so you can see all the instructional information in there. So that's kind of interesting. Here's the disc itself. It's got the nice Xbox One logo on it on top. And if you look on the back, this is clearly a Blu-ray disc. It's dark. It says Xbox One around the ring. You probably can't see that very well, but it's there. This is clearly a Blu-ray disc, but it's interesting that they never mention on the box anything about it being a Blu-ray disc. But it is a Blu-ray disc. So that's kind of interesting. And that's really all there is. But it's a glimpse into what next-gen game boxes are going to look like, or do look like now that there is one. So here is Call of Duty Ghosts for Xbox One. I won't be able to play this until 2 weeks from today. So this will just sit pretty on my shelf and look nice. And you know what? I can't say more than that. So there you go. There's our unboxing of the Call of Duty Ghosts for Xbox One. Next up, we're going to be doing a new feature called Let's Play, where we play a game that may not have necessarily been a big success, or maybe a game I just never got to play. The original idea was I wanted people to vote on what I was going to play. Unfortunately, that didn't really pan out, but that's okay. So I picked for myself, and I'm going to be playing a game called Vanquish, which came out on the Xbox 360 a few years ago. Heard it was pretty good. I now own it, got it really cheap, so now I'm going to play it. So here is the new feature, Let's Play Vanquish. Alright everyone, welcome to our first edition of Let's Play. We're going back and playing a game that I know I didn't play and I heard was good, but never got around to. But now I own Vanquish for the Xbox 360. So we're going to play about 10 minutes and see what I think.
Vanquish.
So let's see how this goes. Hopefully it's not a giant cutscene, because that would kind of suck. Robot suit guy, kind of cool.
Sam, how's the view on your monitor?
Looking good. The scenery's a little bland, though.
All right, let's proceed with functionality testing. We're starting with electro-optical targeting systems calibration.
Sam, I'm going to display a virtual target. Try to follow it visually.
Typical control thing.
If things seem backwards, let me know and I'll adjust the optical nerve sensors.
You know, this is a real pain in the ass. How many times you guys gonna make me do this?
It's important we have baseline, Ian. Just because you can read a manual doesn't mean you know what you're doing.
Very true.
True. You know I know what I'm doing, so let's do something different. What's on today's test schedule?
Look, I know you're in a rush to get to the bar, but we've got a lot to go over. Passing full control to you now.
Here we go. I guess I better do this.
Go ahead and give us some basic rotational movement readings.
Pretty standard stuff.
Skeletal actuators functioning nominally.
We're going to get readings on boost rotation. Engage whenever you want.
Well, that's kind of cool. Woo! Wee!
Overheating.
That's maximum practical output on our current reactor design.
The suit's cooling system can't keep up with that output level. It's causing some temporary performance loss, especially in the skeletal actuators. I'm losing like 30% mobility here.
30% is within our project goals.
Elena, let's move on before Frank reads us the Project Grant chapter and verse.
Alright, I don't know what AR mode is, let's see.
Sam, we took the measurements we made of your brain's sympathetic nervous system and tuned the arm suit's synaptic emitters to augment your reactions in the fire.
It doesn't really make walking around with electrodes all day any more comfortable.
Small price to pay for having elevated synaptic activity during critical fight or flight situations.
Will you two quit bickering like a couple of MIT grad students? Now let's proceed with our test of the R's functionality. Let me know when you're ready, Sam.
Okay.
I finished implementing the manual trigger system you asked for. The system will automatically lock if it detects any life-threatening imbalances in your hormonal levels due to extended use.
Alright, that works. Oh, crap. There we go. I know tutorials. Let's do this.
Very well. I think that's enough for today's test.
Good job, Sam.
That little workout made me hungry. Elena, you up for some looking?
Alright, so I decided to skip the cutscenes, so now we're in the game itself. Oh, those are my guys. Alright. Whoa! Whoa! I'm just gonna slide through because I'm cool like that. Nice military base. Robot dudes. Clearly they have to die. I don't know. All I know is there's lots of explosions. Brrr. Marines, hooyah! Oh no, I crashed. Well, I guess it's time to go kill some guys. Maybe. That's a huge gun. Alright, I'm ready to kill some things. Come on. Yeah! Here we go.
We aren't getting through it like this, sir.
If you go there, you should be able to flank the enemy from behind.
Woo! I thoroughly enjoy this whole boosting thing. Die! It's a turret? Yeah! It's a my ass kicked. That's good. Oh, you're not dead. You are now. Stick out a whole bunch of enemies. Explosions. Very fast-paced shooter. Giant robot! Die, giant robot! Exploded! Enough grenades! This gun has ammo.
Not one of us after it.
There we go. Play for a little bit longer, and then we're gonna have to end the segment. Just because the one has been too long. There we go. Alright, so we just played some Vanquish. for the Xbox 360. From what I played, I really enjoyed it. I thought that was very fast-paced, quick, crazy fun. So, for the future of this new segment, if you want to see me continue to play Vanquish or a different game, leave a comment, post on our Facebook page, which is BigCTV, or send me an email. Our BigCTV email, of course, is bigctvshow@gmail.com. Let me know what game you want me to play, or whether you want me to see me play more of Vanquish, and we'll keep the segment going. So thank you for watching Let's Play. I might continue playing that one shortly after. So yeah, good times. Okay, so next we have a hot deal that you're not going to want to miss for this week only, and especially for all of you PlayStation 4 soon-to-be owners. This is a deal you are not going to want to miss. Here's our latest edition of Hot Deals. Okay, so for this particular hot deal, it is at Target. Basically, they're doing a buy two get one free deal on all new games, which is pretty magnificent. The nice thing about it is now, of course, with the PlayStation 4 launching in a few days, it works on PlayStation 4 games. So if you're buying a new console and want to stock up on some PS4 games, why not pick them up this week? I really wish they were doing the same deal next week with the Xbox One. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like they are. And they don't even have any Xbox One games available currently. But if you're a soon-to-be PlayStation 4 owner, or if you just want to stock up on some games that you may have missed earlier, like, Grand Theft Auto 4, Diablo 3, anything, really, do yourself a favor and take this deal. I mean, it's buy two get one on new games. That's a great deal, especially if you're missing a few big name titles. So this week only at Target, buy two get one on all new games. So don't miss it. Anyway, we're going to wrap up the show with one of our final 2 episodes of Next Gen Talk. Got a lot to cover, so it's kind of a speed round. Here's Next Gen Talk. Alright, so we're very, very close to the Xbox One launch, and I have a bunch of new Xbox One information that you're not going to want to miss. First of all, early on in the days of the Xbox One, there was a lot of concern regarding the Xbox One Connect and privacy issues, because people were thinking that Microsoft would be spying on them through Connect. Microsoft, through a new privacy agreement, revealed a few details on that. The biggest one is that only audio from online gameplay will be stored and monitored. Nothing else will be. No video, nothing. So if you're talking online during an Xbox One match, that will probably be recorded. Everything else, you're good to go. Don't worry about it. So that's nice. Secondly, Microsoft Studios head Phil Spencer talked about the future of 4 big Microsoft exclusive franchises and gave some details about whether or not we'll be seeing them on the next gen. The big one, of course, is Gears of War, but he also talked about Project Gotham Racing, Halo Wars, and Dance Central. Dance Central, he's very optimistic, is going to make a return. You just have to make a deal with Harmonix, who's currently busy on other projects. But he's pretty optimistic that Dance Central will return. Not quite as much about Project Gotham, with the Forza series being as big as it is. He doesn't see Project Gotham coming back necessarily. Although, if it were to, since Bizarre Creations is now closed, it would be Forza developer Turn 10 who would take over the reins of the Project Gotham franchise. Halo Wars he'd like to see return, and on multiple platforms. So talking probably tablets and probably PC as well. And that's a really enjoyable franchise. He especially mentioned that he really liked that as a franchise. And lastly, Gears of War, he says, has run its course on the Xbox 360, and therefore if it were to come out on next-gen systems, it would have to be a reboot, or a retooling of the franchise. So if there is a next-gen Gears of War, it's not going to be like the ones you've played before. So that's good and bad, I guess. If you love Gears of War, kind of sad you're not going to be getting something too similar, but it's also good because, you know, you don't want it to be the same game every time. Rare is not only a Kinect-only studio, according to Microsoft. I know Rare has been mostly developing Kinect games. They're not a exclusively Kinect developer, so that's a good thing. The Forza 5 Car Pass is going to cost $50. So if you're getting Forza 5 at launch like myself, and you want to get all the cars, it's going to cost you 50 big ones. That's a little pricey. I'm probably not going to get the Car Pass. Maybe if it gets cheaper. But other than that, I don't want to pay $50 on top of the $80 I already paid for the limited edition. So, you know. Anyway, that's pretty much all we got for Next Gen talk. Next week we're going to do a in-depth, well, not next week actually, but a few days from now because this episode's a little bit late. We're going to be doing an in-depth PlayStation 4 preview. So you can look forward to that on episode 19 coming probably Wednesday. And of course, we're also going to do all of our Xbox One stuff the following week for the Xbox One launch special. So you have plenty of next-gen goodness to look forward to, but next week is the final next-gen talk. And we will give it a proper send-off, so don't worry about that. Last but certainly not least, before we wrap up this episode, we're going to do a recap of our one review. Thor: The Dark World received an A-, or excellent, because it's an action-packed thrill ride filled with humor and a lot more heart than the previous film. There's plenty of things you'll definitely enjoy just to look at, including lots more views of Asgard, which is definitely a good thing. And of course, the more Loki you see in the film, the better. Okay, that's going to do it for this episode of BigCTV. I'm Chris. Thank you for watching. Look for episode 19 later this week. And of course, the Xbox One special next week. See you later.
Girls will be queens, wrapped in your majesty. When we